friends! Welcome back to Storytime with Round Door Podcast.
Hi! Lancy, what story are we telling today?
Today's story is called 狐假虎威, the fox who borrowed the tiger's might. It's about how a clever little fox escaped from underneath a big tiger's paw.
Wow, that sounds so exciting. Let's get started.
In a large forest, there were little rabbits bouncing about, young deer with their heads nibbling grass, small squirrels busy carrying nuts, and flighty peasants peeking out from the bushes. Everyone lived freely and happily. But also, dwelling within, was the king of the forest who terrified every single animal. That king was the tiger. The tiger was ginormous. His coat was orange and red with thick black stripes running across it. His eyes were large and round, and one glance from a distance was enough to strike terror in your heart. He walked so sneakily that not even a pebble made a sound under his paw. But the moment he bared his sharp teeth, none of the other animals dared to glance at him twice. As soon as the animals spotted the tiger in the distance, they would run away. Everyone said that the tiger was the unbeatable king of the forest. One day, the tiger was hungry and stepped out from the bushes, looking left and right, searching for his breakfast. As he walked on, suddenly, the sound of soft footsteps came from up ahead. Pat, pat, pat. The tiger heard the sound and instantly stood up, alert. Then he pressed his body low to the ground, his eyes locking tight on the path ahead, not moving a muscle. After a moment, a fox stepped out from behind the trees. The fox's fur was a rich red, his tail long and bushy, swaying gently as he walked. His head was down and he was completely focused on his own search for breakfast. He had no idea that the big tiger was hiding right beside him. The very moment he passed in front of the tiger burst out from the bushes like a gust of wind.
Ah!
The fox cried out, almost falling over, but it was too late. The tiger's huge paw was already firmly pressed down on the fox's back. The fox's heart pounded like a drum. His mind was racing. He knew he could not run away. If he cried out now, no one would come to save him. If he tried to struggle, it would only be a waste of effort.
What should I do?
The fox asked himself quietly.
I need to come up with a plan.
Suddenly, the fox lifted his head, blinked, and gave a mysterious little smile.
Big brother tiger,
The fox said in a very serious voice.
How dare you eat me?
The tiger froze for a moment. Usually, when he caught an animal, they would cry and beg for mercy. Not one of them had ever spoken to him like this. The tiger narrowed his eyes and glared at the fox. Coldly, he said,
Why wouldn't I dare eat you? In this forest, I eat whoever I want.
But the fox answered calmly, without panic.
Big brother tiger, perhaps you do not know. I am no ordinary small animal. I was sent here by the Emperor of Heaven. The Emperor of Heaven?
The tiger's ears twitched.
That's right.
The fox flicked his tail lightly.
The Emperor of Heaven feels this forest has become far too unruly, so he sent me to govern all the wild beasts. If you eat me, that means you are disobeying the Emperor of Heaven. And if he finds out, he will be very, very angry.
When the tiger heard the words Emperor of Heaven, he felt uncertain. He thought for a moment, then pressed his big paw down on the fox a little harder. The tiger sneered.
I don't believe you. You're so small. How could you possibly rule over all the wild beasts?
The fox raised his head and looked straight at the tiger, without a trace of fear on his face. The fox's voice grew louder.
If you don't believe me, then come walk behind me. See whether the animals run as soon as they see me. If they aren't afraid, then it won't be too late for you to eat me afterward.
The tiger thought it over. The fox spoke so boldly and with such firm conviction. If he really had been sent by the Emperor of Heaven, that would be a serious problem. Besides, taking a stroll behind the fox would cost the tiger nothing. So the tiger lifted his paw and said,
Fine, I will go with you, but you had better be careful. The moment I find out you are lying to me, I will eat you on the spot.
The fox nodded, still wearing that same calm, unhurried expression, and answered,
Then follow me.
And so, a strange sight appeared in the forest. The fox marched out in front, chest out and head high, looking enormously pleased with himself. The big, fierce tiger followed close behind, his round eyes glaring, his paws crunching through fallen leaves. Two figures, one in front and one behind, walked right through the entire forest. The first to spot them was a little deer grazing on the grass. The deer lifted his head, saw the strutting fox, and at first thought nothing of it. But then he looked a little further back and saw that huge, fierce tiger. Right away, the deer's legs turned to jelly. Without stopping to think, he spun around and bolted, faster than the wind, vanishing in an instant. Next, a group of little squirrels searching for nuts under a tree saw them too. They had been chattering noisily, fighting over a single acorn. But the second they looked up and saw the tiger behind the fox, every one of those squirrels was scared out of their wits. They dropped the nut and scurried back up the tree, climbing all the way to the very top, clinging tightly to a branch, not even daring to breathe. The birds in the trees saw them and flapped away in a rush of wings. The rabbits in the bushes saw them and bounded off until they vanished. The mountain goats drinking at the river saw them, abandoned the water at once, and dashed up the slopes in a panic. In no time at all, every animal in the forest was gone. Only the fox was left, swaggering along out in the front, a pleased little smile across his face. The tiger walked behind, growing more and more puzzled the longer he watched. He thought,
How can this be? Normally, the moment I appear, the animals are afraid. But this time, even though I am right here too, why do the animals all look at the fox first, and only then run away in terror?
But what the tiger did not know was that what the animals were really afraid of was him and not that smug little fox. In truth, the animals were so frightened they did not even dare to raise their heads or meet the tiger's gaze. And so naturally, no one was around to expose the fox's lie about being a special envoy of the Emperor of Heaven. The tiger stared at the fox's back, thinking,
My goodness, this fox really is something. Every single animal is afraid of him.
The tiger took a step back, and his heart started thumping with worry.
If the fox really was sent by the Emperor of Heaven, then I almost just ate him. That would have brought disaster down on my head. If he runs back and reports me, the Emperor of Heaven will never let me off.
The more the tiger thought about it, the more afraid he became. He glanced at the fox up ahead, and then glanced at the empty forest, and could not hold himself back any longer. He spun around and bolted off in the opposite direction, not daring to even look back. The fox listened as the footsteps behind him faded into the distance. He turned around to look, and the tiger was already long gone. The fox stood frozen for a moment, then burst into laughter he could no longer hold in, so delighted that his whole body trembled and his tail wagged wildly. The fox let out a long, slow breath.
Phew, that was close. That was close.
He walked over to a big tree, leaned against its trunk, and sat down. His heart was still pounding. The fox whispered to himself,
Tiger, oh tiger, you are so powerful, but you have no idea. What the animals are afraid of isn't me at all. It's you.
With that, the fox chuckled once more, gave his tail a wag, and walked slowly off into the depths of the forest. This story later became a famous idiom. That idiom is, the fox borrows the tiger's might. The word jia means to fake, and the word wei means mighty presence, meaning the fox faked the tiger's mighty presence and used it to frighten all the animals away. From then on, people have used this saying to describe those who have no real ability of their own, yet rely on someone else's power to intimidate others. Wow, that fox was really awfully clever.
But the way he did it seemed maybe just a little bit dishonest.
That's right, good catch. So when people say the fox borrows the tiger's might, it isn't so positive.
Ah, I see. Well, that's it for today. Bye-bye, little friends. See you next time.
Bye bye!